Hey everyone, it's Freak here, and we are back with some of my favorite videos, although they don't get that many views, but I actually enjoy doing these quite a bit, and I'm a little bit apologetic because I have not had the chance of actually doing any of these yet. Partly because, like, I'll be honest, like, these 4 fights, they just flopped. Like, there wasn't much. I mean, yes, to the people that probably want to learn some, I should have made these videos, and I'm sorry that I didn't. Obviously, there were some other technical issues that I had, so for the first couple, my audio, I don't know, for whatever reason, I couldn't, because I was recording them off stream, basically, and I couldn't separate my audio. On Senarf, I had music over it instead of my in-game in-game audio. I don't know why. So obviously, I cannot upload the video with music on either YouTube or whatever. So I'm sorry a little bit about that. You know, not making these, but they're generally pretty easy. And if you have been tuning into my stream or just watching a guide, like the in-depth, like the things that I'm very interested in is getting into those little mini tiny details that can put you, a little bit above, and just to separate you from the pack, basically. And none of these have this, unfortunately. They're pretty straightforward. Like Senart had a little bit, but like you're basically a gateway bot on this boss and just run around, placing gateway. So it's not like I can show you too much. You just, whenever every 3 minutes you have a cooldown, just pop and blast the ad, kill the boss, and make sure you put your gateway. That year we killed it, and I was recording the entire night. I had figured out all the issues for that year, and I stopped the video to check something on the replay because we had to investigate an occurrence, and I forgot to click record, and we just one-shotted the pool after I stopped recording, so I don't have a recording of a kill. I'm very sad about this one. It was a very good pool as well. Like, we had very good, we played very well. This boss, in the actual kill, like, everybody played insane. Now, Kurog. That's today's video. Kurog Grimtotem. What a fun fight, especially if you like destruction. Now, I don't particularly like destruction. However, it was fun because it was to target clay fight. We were assigned a PI for the first time. I don't remember since when. Also, not dash right now. I'm sorry about that. But also that fight, like, I was tinkering a little bit because I knew like the first couple of posts are gonna be everybody's learning the fight and stuff like that. So you were able to play around with talents, and that was very fun to me. This is the build, by the way, that we actually played on the actual fight. But I'm gonna go over it a little bit more in the logs in a second here. So what we did play with is Mayhem. Actually, that's the first time we tried it. I tried it in a couple of keys, but it wasn't that impressive because it kept on, like, that's also the reason why I decided not to play with that talent on Kurog, but you can, and I'll explain why in a sec. Basically, something is not properly working with this fucking talent. I don't know what it is, but it keeps applying the havoc on my main target that I'm actually hitting, and I'm not sure if it's being triggered from the emulate on my other target, because I'm not, like, it's not happening when I'm tap targeting. If it happens when I'm tap targeting, or I put a spell on another guy and then it procs, I'll be like, I mean, fine, it makes sense. I'll just keep hitting the guy that I'm hitting right now, so I'm gonna cleave onto the target that I would actually like to switch in a second. But yeah, it kept happening, and it was very annoying to deal, because I'll just be hitting my main target and it would have a havoc on it, and I would be like, oh well, okay, I guess I just need to start hitting the other target now, but it's a 4-second buff, like havoc is 4 seconds with this on. So I'm like, well, holy shit, dude, like, it's not worth, when it happens like this. And it introduces this level of RNG where you're not you're unable to consistently do the same thing to progress through the boss. Obviously, we weren't wiping because of this, but I'm just not a fan of that. And just give me a second to reply to somebody. I apologize, I'm doing it. Let's keep going now. However, the upsides of Mayhem. I played the talent and Mayhem, especially when it was working with the Rolling Havoc, was insane. Like, I would have some of these like insane, like I'm telling you guys, you go to 5 stacks of Rolling Havoc and it would proc at the perfect time and it would just extend and extend. It would just keep like extending it, you know? Like, I had a couple of pulls where it was like, I don't know, like 20, 25, 30 seconds straight up. I would have like 5 stacks of Rolling Havoc running. It would just bang, like bang, bang. Like, more or less this talent, if you're trying to, I assume end of the tier, you're trying to get some logs. If you're into that, I'm not. But if you're trying to roll, like Mayhem actually has higher ceiling to get higher logs with good like proc RNG, you know what I mean? So definitely, I had some like dopamine spikes with that talent. I gotta tell you, boys, it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it for for a couple of pulls. Like, I think I did like 20 pulls with it. It was pretty fun, but also downsides with it, unfortunately. Now, moving forward, we did try another build as well. It was this one here where we take conflagration of chaos. And it's still a good build. Like, you can still pump pretty well with this build. It basically makes your conflags do more damage. By the way, this build, you're probably going to use it on Senarf a little bit more because Senarf is much heavier movement fight where you just run around. Yeah, so this build here with conflagration, maybe 2 points in Mullet here and Scalding Flames, it is a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, all of these builds you'll be pumping pretty well. But if you want cookie cutter, it's probably this is what you're going to end up playing. And part of this point here, Fire and Brimstone, I wish I could put a second one, but I just can't take any of the points. Maybe I could have taken that one, I'm not sure. But 3% it was showing seems to be hard damage game, but consider this one is probably a little bit butt heavier maybe because there are some small mobs from time to time. But it was a good point. I'll show you in a moment why. Now, the last build that I played, I'm not going to click over it, so I want to try and actually make these videos a little bit shorter because in the past they were a little too long for my liking, kind of. So, the other build that I played was a special build kind of mine, which ended up being here, and we were taking Cash and Chaos, and we would go here with the power overwhelming, and it would take these points away, basically, or whatever. It was pretty good. We didn't play Diabolic Embers. It was pretty good, but the downside of it was like it had super high spike, but the overall throughput of the build started to lack a little bit in the intermissions where we had to kill 2 ads. But on the boss intermission, on the actual main boss with the main ad, it was always crazy pump. Like, it was destroying the boss. Also, like these 2 points, I mean, with the 3-minute trinket, Iridus, it was pretty satisfying to play this one. However, yeah, I don't know. In the end, I'm going to show you the trinket as well in a moment when we get to drugs, but more or less, you have a couple of builds you could be playing. All of them are performing very well in this fight, but this one is probably the one that's overall the most consistent, and you're going to do boss damage, ad damage throughout the fight without downtime, so that's pretty much, the best that I've come up with. Alright, now let's get over the logs very quickly. Okay, here they are. The logs. So these are the logs, 9 minutes. It doesn't even reach at 9 minutes, so you guys need to kill it before that point for sure. My build. Come on. I already kind of showed it to you, but this is the build. I'm going to put a link in the description below, so you can just copy paste it, boys. Any notable things? I would say probably a few things that you can just maximize a little bit because there is quite a bit of damage that you're going to take. Maybe try like a 2-minute wall, which I unfortunately could have used a little bit better in this fight. I did not do my best job with this one. It's a little bit sad, but I don't know. Like the servers yesterday when we killed it, we were constantly getting disconnected, like our raid while fighting the boss would just disband and would get teleported out of the dungeon. And we're actually lucky because we killed the boss and one of the disconnects happened literally like 30 seconds to 1 minute after we killed the boss. So it would have been pretty frustrating if we DC'd before the kill. But yeah, a few points, like you can probably take a Profane Bargain there, quite a few points where you're kind of running low on HP, just a little bit more sustainability, just take away Shadow Fury and Banish if you're using those. You don't need the curse because the tank doesn't want the tank to not, like, he wants the boss to swing, like melee swing slower, basically. 2-minute wall, pretty good. More frequent dark pack. This one is still in the air. I'm not sure between these 2 points. That seem to be pretty, it's a personal choice more or less. Felos Energy, also pretty good. You require quite a bit of healing in this fight, and there are points where you take heavy amounts of damage and there is a soak that you need to do, so this one helps, and also a little bit more CDR on your wall. It's never bad. Yeah, you can skip this point if you want, but overall I think it's a very good value talent. Like, it's a shit panic button, you know, big Hellstone, instant gate. There's, you know, if you need to gen life yourself back to life, it's also very good. So overall, these are the talents that you're looking at. Items and gear. Unfortunately, they aren't legendaries like in Shadowlands, so that there is not much to talk about here. Most of the, not most, but long. Like, big portion of the rate of the progress, I did play with Iridas, which you guys can do. But eventually, I set out, as I said, on 2 passive trinkets because that was the most consistent overall throughput, like, damage that I can do through the entire fight, basically. Be it boss, be it adds, be it intermission, anything, yeah? So these 2 just ended up being the highest seeming ones for me, but this is not to say that you couldn't play 2-minute horn build or anything like this. Also, 2-minute build is pretty fine in this fight as well. If you want to play Wilfred's and horn, you like it a lot as well. And it syncs up with PI, which we were getting PIs, but it wasn't syncing up. And speaking of PI, this is the PI, basically, how we distributed them. So we had on pool, then we had them in the at intermission. I'm going to show you, a few pointers from the video in a second here, which we did with basically Blood Fury and Havoc. It's pretty good damage output, so I would suggest if you're getting PIs, that's probably, I would probably say that that's the best way of using them, because here is my fellow Warlock. I'm not sure, maybe I think he died at some point here. Yeah, it seems like he died. I'm not sure if he was getting the PI here and then he decided against it. I'm not sure how he played it in the rest of the way, but just generally speaking, he got, because eventually it will desync, yeah? If you guys are not like, if you take it every 2 minutes, it will eventually desync at this point here at the minute 7, because you need to save your Inferno for the boss. You're pumping boss, that's your job. Your job is to pump boss. Basically, here's the boss damage that we did. That's your job, like, that's the assignment for us, yeah? We do boss damage. What the fuck is this? 1 sec. So we do boss damage, that's what we do. And it will eventually desync, yeah? So, but it's a good way to use them like this, because you will eventually get an extra use right at the end of the boss fight, which I would say it's value, because you can use spot Blood Fury if you decide. So I'm pretty sure I clicked it during the fight. I watched the vote, but it didn't go off, so I'm not sure. Maybe it was, I don't know, something happened. Maybe I didn't press my button hard enough or some shit, and it didn't happen here on this PI. But generally speaking, that was oh yeah, that's basically the last phase. I don't know why it's not working when I click it here, but yeah, this is the last phase, and we just sent cooldowns with pots separately from PI, which got around, towards the end of the fight, and it was, as I said, pretty big value. So I would say that's probably the best usage you could do right now with the 3-minute build. Now, onto the video, I suppose. So I can show you a couple of things. 1 moment. Alright, here's the video. Hope you guys can see it. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. Yep. A few small things, I suppose, that I would like to show you. Wait, is that the video? Oh, so. Oh yeah, that's the whole video. I'm sorry, boys, but it's fine. We're gonna just go back a little bit. A few small tips. Alright, so one of the first tips, I know most people are sending it right away on pool, the Inferno, and it's probably, I cannot say it's better, because you can also want to pump the ad. And if you send on pool, there are about 8 to 10 seconds where you will not be able to pump boss and ad. So you kind of lose, I don't know, a little bit of value, I'm not sure. But then there is movement that will happen. So either way, you might lose a little bit of value. But I don't know. For me, personally, this is what felt naturally good, to wait for the ad to spawn. And as it is spawning, I pressed in front because it has like it has to drop down. Then I will emulate the boss. You can also have a double emulate for the first stack of rolling havoc, but it feels a little bit back because we need to pump as hard as we can here. You have PI, pod, potion, everything at pool here, and wasting one of the seconds of havoc during like applying an emulate felt a little bit, I don't know, not optimal, so to say. But yeah, you pump boss, and here's a small thing that you can do to maximize a little bit your damage. Where is it? Alright, PI is over, but you can do that also during PI if you don't have any shards. You know how the rotation in my videos I guys explained to it's Chaos Bolt, Incinerate, Chaos Bolt, because that's the maximum amount of like spells you can squeeze in before your madness fades away. Depending on haste level, obviously it can differ a little bit. And if you have your Blasphemy proc ready, you can do 2 Incinerates. However, because we're so hasted at the start, what you could do, you're watching like we already pressed a couple times, I'll go back a little bit. So we're gonna spend as many shots as we can now. And now we go. 1 Incinerate, 2nd Incinerate, 3rd Incinerate. Look at the buff, it's still going. And I could probably squeeze one more. I could, but I don't want to be greedy. So we can squeeze 3 Incinerates, which are also cleaving to the ad. So that's why we're taking Burn to Ashes twice basic here. And you could try taking, like as I said, 2 points on Fire and Brimstone perhaps. But yeah, I don't know, 3% crit. It's simple for me, so I just stick to that. So yeah, that's one of the small things you can do to min-max, basically, more or less. Alright, let's go to the... I've been debating whether I should show you, like, explain mechanics to you guys, but I think you should just watch a YouTube guide for it. I want to get into the details on some of these, and if I start explaining all the mechanics, it's already long enough. I see it's going longer than I would have wished. Maybe I should stop talking, but you know, it is what it is, boys. So I'll be very brief. You have to run every couple of seconds. There is a dance. So you basically run left to right, depending on the arrow. It's a package you can find on Wagon, pretty sure, from Ryu. That's why we place our portals here. If you get the dance, you dance, 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 and then you have to get here before the pool spawn, and you just press portal for, you know, uptime, efficient uptime on the boss. Bam, you move in, boom, you stack it, and that's it. Intermission. Before you get to the intermission, boys, that's what you want to do here. If you want to be maximum efficiency, guys like me, like Daoyo. It didn't happen on this pool because, you know, there were some unfortunate events which I'm not going to go over, but usually you should try and stack, go to 10 stacks on your... I'll just call it 4-piece because actually I don't know what the name of it is. I'm sorry, boys. What is it? Let me check. Ritual of Ruin, boys. That's the name. Okay. So you want to go to 10 stacks here, and that's the PI without lust, without Inferno that you're gonna go for here, because the next one is gonna almost sync up perfectly for the next one, kinda. So this is one, and you have the 2 important mobs. You have you know, Immolate, Havoc, Bam, PI, the ratio, and just start pumping. The next mechanic is obviously Dance, which already happened. The one after is Soaks. That's from the electrical ad. It will have 5 to 6 soaks, I don't know, I think it's 6. And these are pre-assigned, so, you know, just go to your position, basically. After this one, you have another dance, and that's pretty much it for this intermission. Like, the ad should be that at this point. Now, the next intermission, or basically main phase, it's the boss phase with the Earth Elemental. This is the phase where you probably are going to experience the most amount of incoming damage, and there's some Q absorbs these that are gonna come. If they're on you, you need to press a Hailstone or a Hellpot, and perhaps if you don't want to, maybe you can just get away by pressing Woe with Coil and rely on healers to do the job. But I would say don't do this because it's a healer. The boss phases are healing intensive enough, so help you guys. Like, you're not going to need any of your healing whatever stuff in the last phase. The last phase is the easiest one basically. So yeah, just make sure you leave this phase and you probably kill the boss. Right. The mechanics. Oh, maybe I should talk to you about the PIs here just for a second, so you can see what I meant. So when this ad spawns, I don't have my PI. Yeah. What I do is I just send my Inferno with Havoc and just keep pumping basically. And I'll have it happens throughout the fight because of how we decide to use the PIs, but I think it's still a very optimal way of using the mechanics. Rings, dodge the ring, then Yat is gonna do ring, and then there'll be 2 rings, so you just keep on dodging basically here. You can put the portal as well and just go further away and do down, but obviously you will lack some healing from the druid. So, you know, up to you if you can survive or not. Okay, the next one is basically the PI that I want to talk to you. You get Havoc back and you just get PI with Blood Fury and just keep pumping basically. It's probably the most optimal way, as I said, doing boss damage because of running Havoc. Like, you're a good PI target even without your Inferno because of the ads and... okay, I got the... what's it called? I got the Healing Observe here. Let's see if I'm a bad player. Okay, Help Pot. And the mechanic is nullified, basically. That's it. And also Dark Pacted for, you know, good measure. I actually think I got both Heal Observe. Let's see, it's in 8 seconds. Did I? Absorb? Nope, it didn't go on me. Oh, anyway, I think it... oh, yeah. It went with somebody. I had a couple of posts where like both of them were going on me. It was so annoying. Anyways, you kill boss basically after dodging the rings. This phase, again, whatever guy is gonna put some rings on you. These do a little bit of damage. You don't have to pop a defensive for them. Just run away. If you stay in them, they don't do damage. I don't know if that's a bug or not. It doesn't work, but... Havoc, again, when you're going to the phases, try to have 10 stacks, yeah? Because if you have 10 stacks, phase starts, boom, you're just blasting, basically, and blasphemy, and you have very good uptime, and a lot of, you know, incoming shards. Moving forward. That's the other PI that it's kind of off-sync, but as I said, it will happen. You have your 4-piece ready, you blast PI, ratio, that's the one that I don't know what happened, but it didn't go off. It's fine. This mechanics here, pre-assigned range and melee. The first one we decided everybody soaks, and we just had immune people, 2 or 3 immune people not soak, and there will be the second group that gets the soaks basically, you know. So that's it. But it's group to group depending on how you guys want to do it. And that's pretty much it. Last phase. Here you go. The boss with the, I think it's a frost stat. It's the easiest one. They're just these, I don't know, glacials that come out of the boss and the yacht, and then both at the same time. Just keep dodging and pumping the boss, and that's pretty much it, boys. And the boss is dead, but no healing, like nothing too dangerous at the end of the fight here. So yeah, unfortunately again, the commentary is still long for me, but I hope that the information that I provided to you guys will be helpful, so that you can also, you know, have easy time killing this boss. I'm pretty happy actually. We had this boss almost killed about like around the 20th pool. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but yeah, it took us a little bit longer after that because of the disconnects and all that. But all in all, pretty good. Fun boss. Not the hardest, not the easiest. If you're sleeping, you'll probably be wiping there. A lot of things that will wipe, like depending on tanks and healing. Like if you lose a healer, you probably cannot catch up. But it's pretty much like every fight is like this. From DPS perspective, I mean, had lots of fun, got PIs, you know. I enjoyed myself, I'll be honest. I hope you guys also enjoy yourself. And with that, I'm going to send you over to just the POV. And obviously I'm going to put some, you know, marks in the video below, timestamps in the video below if you just want to scroll around and, you know, choose what you want to watch. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning. I'm going to make 2 more of these for Broodkeeper. And 1 for Razget, obviously, when we kill it, because these are the 3 hardest bosses, basically, this raid. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed them, and I'll see you on stream or in the next video. Thank you very much for tuning, and take care.
The boss is dead.
1 kill, and then we're break.
1 kill, super play.
Yeah, just 1 kill and then we break. fingered.
I'll take the one that's by itself.
Just add for now. Boss.
Back up.
Boss watch. Bad.
That darkness is becoming later and later every try, but we need it a bit early.
Get ready to soak.
No. I'm taking boss in a second. No, but
And we're stacking for dance.
trying to boss in a sec. No, okay. And you'll boss whenever.
See a darkness.
Get ready to dodge waves.
Like 97 you can go now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good, fantastic, should be fine. Go in the middle of this.
Back in front of me for the dance. Go for the middle of those fires if you need to. After this, get ready for soaks.
Let's go to the wall.
Soaks coming. Get ready for dance. Dancing now. After this, get towards the mobs.
Sounds all good.
Why are you so far out? Because
Dancing, sorry.
we're dancing, so stack up.
I'm moving the ad into the lightning cover.
Be on the correct target here. You move away from the fire a little bit.
Yeah, down a bit.
Be on the right target. Dodging quake now. Dodging another quake.
Oh, took out.
I'll do my frontal on the
Watch the
right.
swirlies.
No. Taking boss, faking iron body.
I got the ad.
Alright, split them up. They're heavily staggered, so left first, and then right.
Your frontal will happen during the second volley.
Yeah.
Where's Lair?
Darkness down.
Rebuffer.
I got boss.
I got out.
Got swirl.
Alright, you want to be healthy. Personals in 3 seconds. Personals.
I'm taking boss in a second. I don't know.
I need help.
Just be above 70 here. Give Sleepy an external. Dodging earthquake. Just gotta stay healthy. Once this quake ends, it's over.
I found sack, Kevin.
I'm
Okay.
on 5
Hey,
HP.
hey, huge. Ollie, get frost. I'll get
Got
her.
Remember, the immunity stay out. All melee on star. All range on orange. No exceptions.
Get to your positions now.
Soaks are coming.
I'm taking that as well.
Range on circle.
Move out to the edge.
Be in this.
Brad, come in.
The next soaks are immunities, so only do not be in these soaks. Do not be in.
I've got Earth.
Nice, awesome.
Only
Do
immune.
not be in. Do not be in.
And where's Zick?
Red sick, yeah. Give him imbuff.
I'm taking the big out off you.
No, just flex big out there.
Alright, so remember, you're going to have second pots for your CDs and P3. Just need to dodge blue swells, or dodge blue orbs, and do soaks, that's it. We still do a range and a melee group. Right. First thing is dodging in 10 seconds. From the boss. Make sure you split them because you didn't do that
Bloody
last
hell.
time. Dodging in 2 seconds. Everyone should be on boss here. Dodging. And then the same thing is going to come from the ad. Dodging, dodging, dodging. After this it's soaps, so star go to melee, circle at range.
Keep it just in rally.
Now the next thing is double. They are going to be at the exact same time.
Kevin,
They're,
target's lost.
they're completely synced, completely synced. Dodging both. Then try and get back in for...
Oh, my frontal. Take the other few when I'm healthy.
we're gonna have soaps again, just star and melee.
No, sacrifice.
Oh, sack, sorry, yeah, sorry. Run out.
We're good.
Easy, boys.
Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
And
done.
raid disband.
Well deserved
job.
break,
Is
everybody.
that a one-hander? No, it's not.
Good job on the focus.
What the
on
fuck is this loot,
comms.
man?
Thanks,
Zenith
Lucy.
fuckers.
What is all this melee shit?
Zenith fuckers, man.
Ooh,
2
Zenith.
seconds from in range.
Zenith
In range,
rising.
by the way.
Zenith
Hopefully it's Sophia, then
Zeus.
break.
Kurog and his creations